Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the SWS. Continuing on with college football week 0. I already uploaded the Florida State Georgia Tech video if you want to check that out. I got the other FBS game here, SMU Nevada. This one's on Saturday as well. Let's get into it.
Welcome to the SWS. The SWS. SWS. Hey, get the SWS.
All right, like I said, Mustangs are on the road in Nevada here. Line's now down to 24.5, 25.5, and that dropped recently on the last 24 hours. Because yesterday this was up at 27.5. So looks like some sharp action came in on Nevada, you would think, because now you can still get a 24.5 if you like SMU. Total sitting at 56.5. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet, and according to the model, I mean, keep in mind this model's from last year's numbers. Nevada was terrible. SMU was loaded. Not that that's completely far off to what we have this year, but according to the model, 48.4 to 8.89. But I mean, I didn't input the roster changes or anything into this, so this could probably be disregarded, although it's pretty close. It's a pretty accurate representation of what we're looking at here. So let's go ahead and get into this one. SMU, things are looking great. I mean, they got their full coaching staff back. Lashley's back for his third season, 11-3 last year, 9-0 in conference champions. And here's the best part. They brought basically everyone back. They're 11th in the country in returning production. We should see that same fast-paced, high-powered offense. 15th in pace last year, so this team likes to keep it moving. They like to score points. They got their quarterback back, Preston Stone, 3,200 yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 picks last year. Both RBs are back. Top 7 wide receivers. 7. Yes, I said 7. The top 7 pass catchers from last year are back. So their top 7 receivers are back. Running backs are back. Preston Stone back at quarterback. Coaching staff back. Everything's looking great. Now, if you are looking to poke holes in this SMU offense, I suppose you can point at the offensive line. They did lose 3 starters. And that's significant because the offensive line was a huge part of this team's success last year. Look at their blocking numbers last year. Great at creating space in the run game. Great in pass protection. So to lose 3 starters, that's definitely something to take note of here. But here's the thing. They brought in 4 transfers. 3 of them have starting experience. They got 2 kids from Oklahoma, a kid from Florida State. So they really like the offensive line they have entering this season. Granted, this is week 0, and normally the offensive line is a unit that takes a week or 2 to gel in most cases. So maybe there's a step backwards there. But I have good news for SMU. They're opening up against Nevada, and this program is currently in a rebuild, I guess, to put it delicately. Let's just put it this way. If there's one defensive front that's perfect for SMU to see in week 0 to give that new offensive line a little bit of a warm-up game, it would be Nevada. I mean, bottom 25 defense last year, without a doubt. 130th in yards per play allowed, 126th in defensive success rate. Couldn't stop the run to save their lives. They only bring back 2 starters on the defensive line. They did bring in a transfer from Wisconsin that they like. But the first game of the season for Nevada with a new defensive coordinator against SMU's offense, I mean, just a really tough spot to start the season for that defensive front. Now, if you're looking to take the points with Nevada here, you definitely like the SMU home-away splits offensively. The offense wasn't nearly as potent on the road last year. Top 25 offense at home. Pretty average-looking offensive numbers on the road. Here's the thing, though. Look at SMU's road games. I mean, at Oklahoma, at TCU, at Tulane. These are not programs that are even somewhat comparable to Nevada. And if you look at their schedule from last year and find a road game from SMU where they played a team that is comparable to Nevada, look no further than at Temple. They won that game 55-0. So we can basically throw these home-away splits out because they don't apply to a team like Nevada. Now, it's not that I think this Nevada defense is doomed forever. In fact, I think they made a huge step towards improving that unit. They brought in Jeff Choate. We saw what he did for that Texas defense. He's been the Texas DC the last 3 years. Last year, Texas was absolutely loaded. One of the best defenses in the country, maybe the best run defense in the country. And also, they brought in Kane Ione to be the DC. We saw the defense he built at Boise State. He had the Boise State defense in the top 25 back in 2022. He's been the Boise State DC for the last 3 years. So he's going to be the defensive coordinator. They're loaded up. Great hires as far as building a defensive program. Problem is, I mean, we're talking about week 0 with a less than stellar roster. I mean, what can you expect these guys to do? So there are brighter days ahead for the Nevada defense, no doubt. Maybe 2025, we look at Nevada over wins or something like that, start betting some unders, maybe even the second half of this season. But as far as week 0, I don't expect to see a huge leap forward from the defense. Now, on the other side, we got the Nevada offense, and it's pretty ugly here. I mean, their numbers from last year, they're ranked 133rd in effective rush, 132nd in effective pass, 127th in yards per play, 128th in success rate. It's basically awful across the board, and they're actually worse at home. Not that it's even worth looking at, but look at their offensive numbers at home here: 127, 130, 131, 120. This offense really struggled last year. Now, they do bring their quarterback back, but I think he's going to start. Brendan Lewis, 1,300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 6 picks last year. They also brought in Brock Purdy's little brother, Chuba, but I'm pretty sure Brendan Lewis is going to be the starter. I guess a year starting experience under his belt, he probably improves, but he really struggled throwing the ball last year. Now, what I did is I told Andy to find me an angle for the Nevada offense, and this is what he gave me. So Brendan Lewis is an athlete. He can run with the football, 495 yards rushing last year, 4 rushing touchdowns. And in the bowl game, we saw SMU struggle with an athletic quarterback, Castellanos in Boston College, 156 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Now, that's razor thin. Number one, it's a bowl game. We know those games are always a little weird. They're a month removed from the season. Also, this particular one, the Fenway Bowl, was raining, and it was just... So, I told Andy to find me an angle for the Nevada offense. That's what he gave me. Pretty razor thin and not much to that, but interesting enough to mention. Here are the SMU defensive numbers, and they're elite. Now, keep in mind, they did play an American schedule. So, yeah, they're racking up some really elite defensive numbers against some bad offenses. And you can see in the schedule adjusted metrics, the effective rush, effective pass, 33rd, 34th, not quite as good, but no question, this defense was great. But here's the thing. What was the strength of this SMU defense last year? Probably the defensive line. The pass rush was great. They were great against the run. Look at these defensive line numbers right here. Pretty much, what's the lowest number on here? 33rd in power run defense success rate. So yeah, the defensive line was great. Here's why it's a little concerning. They lost all 3 starters. SMU runs a 3-3-5, and they lost all 3 starters on that defensive line. Now, they did bring in a couple transfers. One of them's from Arkansas, 350-pound nose tackle that's going to start, and apparently he's good. And it's SMU. Still, even losing those 3 starters, they're still going to be far more talented than what Nevada's got on the other side. But again, if you are looking to poke holes in this SMU defense, you can point at the defensive line. And that's a little bit concerning, because if you notice, what did I say on both sides of the ball? If you are looking to poke holes in this SMU unit, you point at the offensive line or the defensive line. Not exactly the 2 units you'd like to have question marks next to. Now, they are playing Nevada, and yes, the Nevada offensive line has terrible numbers from last year. But one thing I will say, and if you are looking to bet Nevada, they might have something that resembles a run game this year. They like their running back room a lot. They brought 2 RBs back from last season. They also brought in a kid from Texas who's supposed to be good. So if there's a bright spot on this Nevada offense, it's the running back room, and also the offensive line might not be that bad. They bring back 3 starters. They brought in 4 transfers. So the Nevada offensive line might not be that terrible. So SMU lost all 3 defensive linemen. Nevada might have something resembling a run game. There's something. If you're looking for something, you can say you think Nevada's going to be able to run the ball. But if you ask me, that's pretty razor thin. And then you got to keep in mind, SMU, the rest of their defense, we talked about their defensive line that got a little bit gutted. But the rest of their defense, they run a 3-3-5. So 3 linebackers, 5 D-backs. 6 of the 8 starters are back. So the rest of the defense is going to be loaded up. And like I said, they brought in that transfer from Arkansas, nose tackle. So I think it's going to be fine. And as far as the point spread, I know 24.5, 25.5. These are big numbers. But keep in mind, Nevada, when catching 21 points or more since 2019, 0-7 straight up, 1-6 against the number. So when Nevada, in recent years, when they're catching a big number like this, they usually don't cover. They also have a pretty ugly record as home dogs. Since 2022, 3-6 against the number as home underdogs. So to me, everything points to SMU here. That line movement is definitely a little scary. Dropped from 27.5 down to 24.5, 25.5. I personally haven't bet it. It's week 0, first college football day of the year. Probably want to get some action down, have some fun. So Probably will end up betting SMU, maybe SMU first half or something. For this video, I'll say SMU minus the points, maybe SMU team total over, something like that. Offense is bringing back a ton of talent, and I don't think the Nevada defense is equipped to handle it. So SMU should definitely score points here. They should also be running that same fast pace. So we should definitely see Mustang points in this one. Live shows, weekdays 4 p.m. Eastern time, weekends 11 a.m. Eastern time. Actually, on college football Saturdays, we'll be starting at 10 a.m. Eastern time, but for week 0, we'll just start at 11. There's no reason coming on at 10 when there's just not many games. But starting week 1, we'll be starting at 10 a.m. and going up to kickoff. If you're able to make it, would love to see you in the comments. If you want to see all the bets I have open for week 0, week 1, futures, all of that, head over to KyleKirms.com and sign up for Sauce Network Plus. There's a bunch of bets on there. It also comes with access to the Discord, and you can participate in the weekly betting league. $150 and a trophy to the winner every single week. So head over to the website if you're interested in that. Let's have ourselves a nice little college football week 0 here. Obviously, it's week 0. There's not a ton of value on the board, but we'll play some bets, have some fun, hopefully make a few dollars. Thanks for watching.